So someone asked me the other day if teachers ever experience imposter syndrome. To which I replied, probably more than we'd like to admit. I don't know about you, but my first year of teaching, I definitely felt a little unqualified. And that's coming from someone who was finishing up her master's in education, and I had a bachelor's in middle grades education teaching middle school English. So if anyone should have felt qualified, certified, ready to go, it should have been me. But it's just easy in the midst of a team of seasoned teachers or people who've been at the school a long time. Everyone else just seems to know their style, their rhythm, who they are in the classroom, how they deliver content, how they manage their lesson plans and their tests and their scheduling and their emails and all the logistics that come at you as a teacher. It's easy in the midst of that to feel like a fake and to feel like you may never get there, or it's all too much, it's too overwhelming, what did I sign up for? I definitely had those days where I was just waiting for someone to kind of call me out. I remember being in class and just kind of I'd give a directive or make a correction, and inside of me, I was kind of just waiting to see if the students would stand up and revolt. Like, I'm not listening to you. Or who are you to tell us what to do, you know? And especially with that age gap, I was not that much older than them. There was definitely a fear inside of me that at some point, someone would catch on to the fact that I didn't belong there. Now, of course, a part of that is human nature, to wonder if we belong where we are, or to wonder what qualifies us. Am I qualified to be here? Do I belong in this environment? A part of that is human nature. The other side that's very real is that often teachers are thrown in the deep end with very little preparation. Some of us have formal training, but even that definitely has gaps in preparing a teacher for real life classroom teaching. There are so many things I found, even with a master's degree, I wasn't totally prepared for. I wasn't prepared to navigate student absences and tracking who was gone on what days and what tests and what homework and grades flying everywhere, and then managing expectations with the parents and communicating everything in a really professional way so that people thought that I knew what I was doing, that I was in control and organized and trustworthy. There were a lot of gaps, even with a master's, that I had to navigate, even with my content, where I would see learning gaps in my students and wonder, well, how long should I spend trying to fix that? Or, well, that's an elementary school issue. I don't know if I have time in my curriculum to go back and rebuild those foundations. There are so many things that you have to navigate. And that's just talking about surviving week-to-week teaching. That's not talking about thriving as an excellent teacher who's memorable and creates class culture and rapport with their students and really creates a vibe in the classroom. All of that just feels so impossible when you already feel like a fake. So here's one cool thing that I felt like God showed me my first year of teaching, and it really just changed the game for me. So I hope that it encourages and inspires you. I was only a couple months into teaching when I already just felt so frustrated. You know, I have always wanted to be a teacher my whole life, and here I was in my first classroom ever, really in my dream job, teaching 6th grade English, and I just felt frustrated. I felt like there was such a huge gap between where I was and where I dreamed of being as an excellent teacher. And I remember the Lord telling me one day that I am not qualified by the degree, the piece of paper that I've achieved or I haven't achieved. I'm not qualified by my years of teaching experience or what other parents say about me or what other administrators say about me. None of that is actually what qualifies me. What he showed me was 2 parts. He said, you are qualified in my eyes. I have qualified you, and therefore you are enough. You are the best teacher for these students in this classroom for this year. That I have assigned every single one of these students to be your kid for this year because you're the best person for the job. And let me tell you, there were definitely days where I felt like the worst person for the job, where I would leave and I'd be like, I just don't know if I did it today. I don't know if I made an impact. I don't know if I said it right. I don't know if they got the material. Or I would come up with these really goofy, silly lessons, and I'd go home and be like, was that dumb? Like, am I cheesy? Are they making fun of me? You know, do the parents think I'm a joke? You know, whatever it was. And I would overthink and overanalyze, am I doing it? Am I being an excellent teacher? Am I qualified for this dream job? And when the Lord shared that with me, that first part, that I am qualified in His eyes, it really just set me free, and it shook off a lot of the baggage and the weight that I was carrying around, so deeply desiring to be qualified in other people's eyes. The more that I chose to rest in that idea that I am qualified by Him, He's put me here and He's going to ensure that I succeed, the more that I started to really come into my own and settle with who I was as a teacher and get excited and dream big and try new things and really start to spread my wings as an educator. And here's the best part. This is number 2. So God qualifies you in His eyes. But the second thing is that God starts to qualify you in their eyes. And I found that the more that I rested in my own identity as a teacher, God started to put favor on my life, favor on my classroom, and He started to qualify me in other people's eyes. Even as a first-year teacher, I got a lot of respect. I had amazing rapport with my students. I had great rapport with my parents. My administrator really was proud of me, impressed by me. I got great reviews by my leadership. It started to open up opportunities for me. But that didn't come because I was stressed and constantly comparing myself to the next teacher and, well, that teacher's been here 10 years or this one's been here 20 years and who am I to have a new idea? Who am I to question the system or to think outside the box? But I started to rest in the idea that God's put me here because I'm the best person for the job right now. And that doesn't mean that I don't honor the people who've come before me, but for me, for now, I'm the best person for this job. And so I can just rest in that and let His favor come on my life. And in that process, God showed me that He doesn't just qualify me in His eyes, He qualifies me in their eyes. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. That even in the midst of feeling like a fake or like I'm just waiting for someone to discover that I don't belong here, just remember that you are qualified in the eyes of God. And when you rest in that place, He will start to qualify you in the eyes of people. There will come a favor on your life, but it comes in a position and a place of resting and relying on the Father and not trying to qualify yourself or stress and strive and achieve everything on your own. I hope that blesses and encourages you. You can do this. You're called to do this. You're the best person for the job in your classroom. I'll see you on the next video.